Hi, my name is Filipe Carrera. I'm the coordinator of the postgraduate course in digital marketing at IPAM Lisbon and Porto, that is part of Laureate Universities. And today, normally we do our Hangouts in Portuguese because our main audience are Portuguese and Brazilian and Portuguese-speaking people around the world. And this time we will do it in English because we have a special guest from Marketizator. I'm always having difficulties with the name because it's very, very similar to a name in Portuguese. So it's a tool that helps to solve one of the major issues for anybody that has website, especially if you have a e-commerce website, that is how you convert visitors into customers. And that is one of the holy grails of e-commerce and digital marketing, how you really pick those visitors and increase the conversion rate, because the conversion rate of visitors is really, really low. And I want to thank Yousuf for being here today, and I would like to start with a question. What is this about conversion rate optimization? Is it possible to do conversion rate optimization?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to speak with you today, Filipe. It is definitely possible to do conversion rate optimization. It's interesting that today that the conversion rate across e-commerce, for example, is about 2%. So out of 100 visitors coming to your website, only 2 of them are actually going to turn into customers.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I think it's a big mistake, but you tell me, is to think, okay, you have a website, your main goal is to attract traffic, to have as much traffic as possible. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think they go hand in hand, but I think a lot of people today, I mean, the whole talk about SEO and growth and driving traffic is all about the number one focus for people is how do we drive as much traffic to our websites as possible? And if we have so many people buying from our website today, or we're generating so many leads, then, you know, all we need to do next month to increase our revenue or to grow the leads that we're getting is to just drive more traffic. When you look at it from a cost perspective, if we go back to our 2% number, which is the average conversion rate right now, and if I can take that from 2% to 3%, or from 2% to 4%, then the cost for acquisition for me to actually, you know, convert more of my customers versus the cost for acquisition for actually driving traffic, there's a huge difference there. So I think people need to really wrap their heads around the opportunities that are available to convert more of their visitors into customers, as opposed to just driving hundreds of thousands of people to their websites every month and not having them do anything.
So how you do that? How you convert visitors into customers? How you help, better say, websites to convert visitors into customers?
Well, I think the one thing to understand is that people's, you know, it goes back to psychology and really understanding that, you know, people's attention spans today are really changed in the last 10 or 15 years. You know, they did a study back in 2000. They found out that the attention span for the average adult was 13 seconds on a website. Today, it's actually 8 seconds. So you've got to be even that much quicker. And you really have about 200 pixels in order to work with. So I've got 8 seconds and 200 pixels when someone lands on my page to actually grab their attention, to have them take another step forward or you know, get them interested in what's happening. So there's a variety of different tools that are now available in order for you to utilize, but it also just comes down to simple things, you know, keeping things as simple as possible on the website, not having so many, you know, we call them call to actions. So not having so many call to actions all kind of bundled up into one spot, and giving people a clear direction of the next step that you actually want them to take.
Mm-hmm. I see that in your tool, you give a lot of importance for testing several possibilities in terms of marketing campaigns. Can you talk about a little bit about the testing tools that you use?
Yeah, so we, in our conversion suite, we call it, today we offer 3 different testing tools. So we give you the ability to do A and B testing. We have web personalization, and then we have
Yousuf, we have several types of audiences, and sometimes there are some topics that people are familiar with, and some that they are not.
Sure, yeah.
Can you when you are saying A and B, can you slightly define what is an A/B test?
For sure, I get excited when I talk about it, so I get.
Yeah. That's why I'm here. Get the excitement out.
For sure. So the first opportunity is to do something called an A and B test. And so the testing tool, what it does is it gives you the ability to change certain elements on a website, or to change different colors or different call to actions in terms of, it could be images, it could be different, it could be a different wordings, for example. So what an A and B test.
With that, you have to work with the programming the website. So you have to, do the HTML and everything, or how you do these tests?
No, we actually made our platform with marketing people in mind and for non-techie people in mind, like myself. And so what actually happens is you can do all of these changes with, we call it a WYSIWYG editor, which is what you see is what you get. And what it does is you're able to load your site into it and make the changes without knowing how to code at all. So what you can do, why we call it an A and B test, is you can actually then have an A version and a B version. And so what's happening is you could split up your traffic, and you could say, okay, I'm going to show 50% of my visitors one version and 50% another version, my A and B, and I'm going to test to see which version makes, leads to more conversions into customers.
So in a way, you create two, for instance, for the same landing page, you create two virtual versions of that landing page, correct?
Correct, and you could do that not just on a landing page, but you can do that on a checkout page. You could do that on any page of your website.
And you don't need to program, and you don't need to know HTML, you don't need to know Flash and anything, because you are doing a virtual version of it.
Correct, yeah, and it's as simple as changing some of the content, and none of that requires any need to know how to code. You can use the editor to do it.
Okay. Any other tests that your platform has available?
Well, so that the first one is the A and B testing. The second tool that you can use to actually do conversion, to optimize some of your conversions, is what we call web personalization. And what web personalization is the ability to target specific segments of your traffic and give them personalized messages. And we can personalize those messages based on things like weather segmentation. We could base it on which country they're coming from. For example, you mentioned you had, for a lot of Portuguese speakers. So if we know that we could personalize the message in Portuguese to all the people that were visiting from Portugal to our website. And so it gives them that opportunity. We believe that a personalization at the right place and the right time can make a huge difference in terms of conversion.
And also, I think that one of the interesting things that you were saying is that you can personalize it with, for instance, temperature. So there are products that in one day, because it's very hot or very cold, you will sell it better. You will have that impulse to buy it because you are living that situation. So it's quite interesting that you can program that to, for instance, weather condition. Or from what I understand, well, the imagination is the limit, because if you can have the data, for instance, you can do it with a stock market. For instance, if dollar is or exchange rate, if dollar is going up or down or something like that, you can also do something that, let's say, your website is adapted to that, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it in terms of the weather segmentation or some of the other types of variables that we work with. I think one of the the best use cases of it right now is inside the travel industry. So I'm originally from Canada. Canada is freezing, probably about 8 months of the year. And so, imagine landing on a website, and the website has a personalization that comes up and says, hey, it's minus 35 degrees. It's snowing where you are in Edmonton, Canada right now. Wouldn't it be great to be in Mexico? And so, those are types of the things that you can do to personalize to them. Some of the other variables you're talking about are really deep into personalization, and those are things that are coming. But you are able to do certain segmentation based on custom attributes or custom variables similar to the ones you mentioned.
Well, we, as always, if there are any questions from our audience, you can ask now. You can have a live answer of it. Afterwards, it's more complicated, but now you can have a live one. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, because this is the opportunity to talk with Yousuf. Another question: what are the ideal customers of this platform, or even better, what are the websites? What type of websites are the best? The ones that would get the best results with this platform?
Yeah, I mean, we work with a variety of different types of websites. The ideal websites, obviously, where you could see the fastest lift, as we say in the conversion rate, is going to be things to do with e-commerce. We also work with a lot of publishing websites and lead generation type websites. And in lead generation, so anything where you need to take the visitor and have them take a specific action next is definitely a website that we want to work with. We work with a lot of blogs where they utilize some of our tools in order to collect more email subscribers, and we've actually got some great articles and case studies put together in order to do that as well. And that comes in using our web personalization. The last tool that I hadn't mentioned is also the ability to grab qualitative data from your visitors by using our surveys. And I'm sure everyone on this call has done a survey before, or filled out one of those, can we have 5 or 10 minutes of your time? And they throw 5, 10 questions at you. But one of the great parts about the surveys that we have is that there's branching logic built in. And so depending on the type of website that you have, when you ask someone a question, you can basically take them on the journey that you want them to go on based on the answer they give you. And so that could mean if I'm an e-commerce website, I could turn that into having like an automatic salesperson online for me. If I'm a lead generation website, I could figure out which type of consumer is this, and then I'm gonna specifically go in there and direct them to the right parts of my website.
So let me see if I understand correctly. You can, depending on the answers of the customer or the prospect, you can generate a workflow of customized pages. So one customer can go one way and another customer can go a completely different way, depending on the answers that they gave on that research. Correct?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
So it's like the website is talking with the customer because it has like a script to follow according to the answers.
Yeah, you're taking them on that journey of your choosing.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good, very good, very interesting. And what you would say that are the top 3 main benefits that a company can have by using your platform?
So I think the first thing is really the ability to grab some qualitative data on their visitors, and doing something as simple as grabbing some of those surveys and going from there. They're going to have that ability to have that information. I keep saying this over and over again, but it's a statistic that bothers me, is that if you go back to the 2%, so 2 out of 100 are actually doing something that they want to do. There's 98 that aren't, and you have no information on why they're not, right? So that's definitely one benefit. The second benefit is the ability to test and find out what picture, what image, what headline, what call to action actually makes the difference to take them from one step to another step. So that's going to be a clear benefit. I'd love to, tell you that there's the be-all and end-all perfect line that you can use, but the key today, Filipe, is that you've got to test, and so it gives you that ability to test from there. And really, the other third thing is the ability to segment your traffic so that you can know who's coming from that snowy condition, who's coming from Portugal, who's coming from Bucharest, for example, and give you visibility and information into what's happening in service of your visitors and consumers.
You talked about data, and one thing that I was thinking, okay, you will have, let's say, two data. So for instance, if you are using Google Analytics, you will have your Google Analytics data about the website, but then you have these kind of virtual pages that are in your own platform. So how you integrate that with the Google Analytics that you already have, or do you integrate it?
Yeah, I mean, we are integrated with Google Analytics. We're just Google Analytics at the end of the day is a tracking tool, and it's there to track what's going on. We take that information that Google Analytics has and actually and take it a step further and do something with it. We also run managed services here with our company, and we have like an agency. So for those people that don't want to use the platform themselves, they'd rather have, or they just don't have the bandwidth in order to do it themselves, or the team resources, we can actually do it for them. And so that's one of the first things we do is we actually do a full Google Analytics audit and CRO audit to find out what's happening with their website, what's the demographics behind that. And then based off of that, our agency will come in and actually begin to do the implementation of the different tests.
Mm-hmm. Okay, finally, I have the normal question. Imagine that I have a website, and how I start using your platform. What is the process?
The first thing to do is we've actually got what's called a forever free account. So I always tell people to start up and test that out. And what it does is it gives you 10,000 tested views for free, so that you can test on the website.
10,000 what?
10,000 tested views. And so a tested view is a page view or a survey or a personalization, anything that's kind of been altered and improved by a Marketizator experiment.
So it's like, for instance, like 10,000 answers to a survey?
10,000 different people or 10,000 visitors to a survey, for example,
okay,
would give you. So the first thing to do is actually to sign up for an account. And then what you can do is you need to copy and paste a small snippet of code into the header of your website. So there's step-by-step instructions on how to do it. It takes you less than 5 minutes to actually get it done. Like I said, it's a copy and paste. And from there, you can go through step-by-step. There's testing ideas, there's tutorials on how to do it, or else you have access to some great onboarding specialists here who can walk you through the process of how to set up your A/B test and how to do your first survey and an A/B or first web personalization as well.
Mm-hmm. Even in the forever free account, you give that kind of support?
We do give that kind of support there as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Yeah. Yousuf, thank you very much for all this information, because when I was presented to your platform, it was quite a nice surprise, because it's so flexible, and I wanted to people that normally see our Hangouts, that are people very connected with digital marketing in Portugal. I think it would be interesting for them to know this kind of platforms and what you can do with this platform. Because as you said before, it's very, very important to convert visitors into customers. Even if we convert, let's say you were talking about 2%, if we have a lot of traffic, if we convert from 2% to 2.1%, it might be a lot of money. it might be a lot of money. It all depends on the numbers in terms of traffic. In some other website, it will be interesting to convert from 2 to 30% because we have less traffic. But it's much more important because we have to go from one thing that is like having a lot of traffic. It's like buying a huge shop in a very good location, but nobody is entering, and everybody is entering, but nobody's shopping, and you are losing money every time. So it's something that you have to consider to invest in using these kind of tools. So, Yousuf, I don't know if you have anything to add to our conversation. You have anything to add?
I just wanted to add one thing that we really did appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. So what we've done for all of for all the Hangout participants is that anyone who uses your last name to sign up on when they sign up and they put your last name in as the code, so they put in Carrera, over the next couple weeks, we'll actually get an account for 30,000 tested views completely for free. So they would have access to that to use. So we basically tripled it up for them. We want them to go on there and test it out. And so, like I said, use Carrera as the code when you sign up, and that's our thank you for your time today, and we appreciate that big time as well.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the naming of the code with my surname. Yousuf, it was a pleasure to be here online with you, and I hope we will talk more in the future, because this kind of tools, I know that today it will be what you were talking. I believe that you will have more improvements and upgrades in the near future, because it works always like this. So when you have a new feature that is interesting, I will be very glad to talk with you again and to talk about this platform that it seems very, very interesting for any marketeer, for any digital marketeer especially. So Yousuf, once again, thank you very much for your precious time, and see you in the next opportunity to talk more about digital marketing. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Filipe. Take care. Bye.